Hi, this is Daryl again. This is part 3 of my video. Now I'm looking at the new Pekapeka to Ōtaki Expressway, and here I'm specifically looking from the bridges where these orange arrows are pointing out from. I look at the one on the southern part, which is down by the BP station. So this is looking north from the bridge near the BP station, and you can see that a lot of the sort of top layer of asphalting is done here. Again, I'm going to mention quite a lot of things that I've mentioned in other videos. There's the double-tracked realigned railway there. In the background, you've got the State Highway 1 bridge going across the new motorway. So this new road will become State Highway 1 when it's open. There's a guy down there doing some work, spraying the weeds. There's water catchment ponds in this area, and these water catchment ponds are taking the runoff from the drains on the highway, going into the water ponds, settling the sediments out of the ponds, then returning the clean water into the streams, keeping the streams clean. These streams have the other kinds of streams that whitebait and little native fish, mudfish I think is one of the kinds. It's where those fish live. This is also an area where there's native flat snails, but they're probably not considering the snails in this project. I've been looking at it, quite a lot of things, seeing the biological things. There's a pumping station down here. I think it might be a sewage pumping station or a stormwater pumping station, but stormwater is huge capacity, so I'd kind of err on the side of thinking that it's probably a sewage pumping station. This is a traffic camera. So there's these traffic cameras. All the new motorways around Wellington are being built with these traffic cameras, and they can see down onto the road. Now we're looking south. The bridge in the background is the bridge near the Ōtaki River. This is the highway going past the Ōtaki railway station. The Ōtaki railway station has a couple of passenger services. I think there's a service from Palmerston North in the morning for people commuting down in Wellington, and there's a service on the way back. This is also still looking south, and there's one of the workers driving down the road. This is 2 lanes in each direction at this point, but there's also space to pull over. Essentially this whole highway is built as if it could fit 3 motorway lanes, except for there's not the you need a pullover space if people break down and want to get out of the traffic. This image is showing some of the planting and drainage works. So they put these textile hessian or coconut fibre kind of mats down, plant the plantings through that. It allows the water to drain out. The fine sediments soak into the matting so that the clays and muds don't go so much into the river. This is a park. This has always been a park. I remember walking into this park. It was pretty good. It was quite a quiet little kind of picnic park. A little tucked out of the way. Most people didn't know it was there. I'm not sure, but this sort of like S-shaped curve, it looks sort of like it looks like a stream, but it might be just a footpath. I'm not actually certain what the point of that is. This is looking to the BP in Ōtaki by the roundabout in the middle of town. People who've driven through there and got stuck in holiday traffic will be familiar with it. This is looking south from the bridge that's a little further north. So in my previous shots I was standing on that bridge that's in the centre of these images here. You can see more drainage on the left hand side there, and plantings on the right hand side there. Got all the street lights are up. The bit of the highway through the town has street lighting. A lot of the motorways and expressways, they don't have lighting. They only have lighting around the intersections. I guess that's a way of putting it. So if you're just driving in the dark, there's not normally street lighting over the expressways out in the countryside. This is the on-ramp for traffic leaving Ōtaki and heading north. If you head north, you'll go over a bridge, and I'll show you this bridge and later in the video, the Taylors Road and I've forgotten the name of the creek. There's a stream on the north side of Ōtaki. You drive over it on a narrow bridge currently if you're heading north from Ōtaki. There's an off-ramp just there in the centre of the image, which is where people coming from Levin or Palmerston North would exit the expressway to get into Ōtaki to go to the local shops and homes. This is looking south. You've got the double track railway line there. The double tracking goes just a little bit, a couple of 100 metres further north from there, where there's a kind of a, I guess it's a sand drag, where you have a stub of line. You'll see that here. There's a stub of line that prevents trains from running the opposite direction. That's looking north again. You can see all the street lighting is up there. This is the lanes going across the bridge. So this is where that on-ramp leaves the current road. So if you're coming from Ōtaki Township and heading north, that's the way that you'd go to Levin or Palmerston North. You can see there's a bit of work to do to finish surfacing these roads. Now this is meant to be finished in a couple of months. It's meant to open before the end of 2022. I think the mid-November was the target date, but I think every motorway and expressway ever built ends up being late. But it seems to be going very well. You can see how heavy the traffic is. This is just in the middle of a ordinary afternoon. This is the State Highway 1 traffic. So this is the main highway that goes to Wellington from Palmerston North or Levin. There's just another view of some other drainage ponds. You can see that the reeds and floating weed mats are growing there, and those help clarify the water in the runoff. So when you get the rain, the sediments and nutrients are absorbed by those plants in there. It forms an ecosystem. This is the detail of the off-ramp. It's basically all formed. It needs to be sealed. I guess they're not sealing it. They don't want people to treat it as a road. The end of the roadway's got a little workaround here where the traffic's diverted around. Okay, and now I'm going to look at the Taylors Road. This is the northernmost bridge that goes over this stream on the north side of Ōtaki. You better read the name. I can't read the writing, it's a bit small there. I'm going to follow these orange arrows and go along Taylors Road under the new bridge. And then I'll head back at the southern arrow. I'll head back through town so you can see. So here I am. I've just pulled off the state highway, started my camera up. I'm driving under this new bridge. You can see that there's just this little road. This is just Taylors Road is just a local road. There's some farms and lifestyle blocks down here. It goes across a railway line, which is the main trunk railway line that heads north from Wellington for freight trains and a couple of passenger trains. They're going to increase the regional railway in the future to have more services to and from Palmerston North is in the plan. You can see the embankment there. So the new expressway just runs on the top of that embankment, and the old State Highway 1 will just become a local road. I pulled over to let this car pass because I was driving a little bit slow. There you go, so that's the northernmost point of the Ōtaki to Pekapeka Expressway there. So they'll build a new motorway north of here, or expressway, up around the eastern side of Levin and over the top of Levin, and that will allow people to continue to head north on State Highway 1 or take Highway 57 to go to Palmerston North. Now I'm just looking across the paddock to see where the expressway is. You can see there's the run up to the bridge there, and then there's the bridge. And this is the railway line. And then I jumped back in my car, drove across the railway line, had another look at the the embankment there that's got the highway on top. You better see a view of it when I get around these corners. So you can see how Taylors Road, it's just a small local road going to these farms and lifestyle blocks. They'll have to... I'm not sure how this road... It's going to have probably have a merger here for heading north. I'm not quite sure. Or will people leaving Taylors Road have to go south into Ōtaki and then take the on-ramp? I'm not really certain how that's going to be formed. But at the moment it's fenced off. And there you go. That's the run up to the bridge there. So I'm looking south now. Yeah, you can see the plantings got weed matting in there. They built this part of the project, they started this kind of a year or two later than the rest of the project. But it looks like it's pretty much done, this part. There's a lot of these Armco safety barriers around things now, where they're preventing people from driving off roads into ditches or hitting power poles. Quite a lot of important power lines and power poles are protected by Armco barriers now. Things like that street light aren't protected by barriers because streetlights have a thing called a frangible base, which means that the base of the streetlight snaps off. If you drove into one of those posts, it would just snap off. The bolts just slip out. And then I'm just going to stop here and have a quick look before heading back towards Wellington, towards Ōtaki. There's a lot of this pile of rocks here that's to reinforce the creek edges and drainage ways. Yeah, so you can see how busy, this is just a normal weekday afternoon, and you can just sort of see how busy this highway is with traffic. Considering this is State Highway 1, the major north-south arterial route heading into Wellington. But we're about 80 kilometres north of Wellington at this stage. So you can see coming up here is the old bridge, which this new bridge effectively replaces. A lot of these new expressways, they're built with really good drainage. They're really taking into consideration storms and flooding and all of that kind of stuff. So here's the bridge here, just driving over it. It's basically flat level with the ground level. All the new bridges and expressways are just made to be much higher and much more well built, so that if we have storms, like a tropical, we get tropical, ex-tropical storms and tropical storms that come down from the South Pacific. I don't know, from the North Pacific. No, from the middle of the Pacific Ocean, tropical storms come in, and so we'll get a couple of big storms every now and then, and we just get a lot of rain. There's been a lot of flooding recently in various places in New Zealand with just these huge, they call them the atmospheric river kind of flows, where tropical air mixes in with some cool air and it creates just a standing persistent rainfall. It's not necessarily stormy, it's just a lot of rain. And so the gutters and the height of bridges, like all these new projects, most of the bridges are much higher, a few meters higher, and also several meters or 30 meters longer than the old bridges that are being replaced. And that means this infrastructure will be much more robust for changes in climatic patterns. There we go, and now we're back into the middle of Ōtaki, and at the dreaded roundabout where everybody gets stuck in those holiday weekends when everybody goes away. Anyway, that's pretty much my video. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in another video. Have a great day.